Hmm. Is anybody going to come in? That would be really awesome if somebody actually came into the room. Oh my goodness. Let's just see how it goes. Okay, let me go ahead and start recording just in case I have some participants on Facebook who want to join in. So, hmm. My name is Reese Roberts. I am doing the first installment of Serv Boss. This is the podcast for servincorporated.com. And I just couldn't be more excited. My name again is Reese Roberts. And I really am excited to present these ideas in such a format today. Okay. So, Serv Incorporated is a company I started to bring a message to the corporate environment and really just to the business world altogether. It's the focus of it is to insert morality and consciousness, which you know is my area of study. Insert that into the business world and into business language in such a way that morality can actually assist us in the way that we create our collective reality using our collective consciousness. Ooh, doesn't that sound juicy? Yes. So, the spirit of business is a business philosophy that I developed out of my recognition of a lack of morality in the corporate arena and on the global market that we participate in. And so, what we must understand and what we must know about the way business is done is that service is really the blood of any business, and it's really its own industry for a reason, because every person who is manifest on this dimension, meaning on this planet, we have a calling to be of service to not only ourselves but also to humanity, because this is the way our energy is recycled within this universe. And that's really the law of the universe, that energy doesn't die, it really just regenerates and recycles. So, what we want to do is dynamically make that make sense in the business world, because right now, the market we participate in, the market that we sustain, as a group, a collective group of people called humanity, we are right now maintaining an environment or maintaining a market that is not necessarily serving our needs. Now, we have to think really deeply about what we need as humans on this planet and how those things are going to actually manifest using our collective consciousness, the way that we've manifest our environment right now. So let's take a moment to dissect that. The spirit of business philosophy is rooted on a term called moral investments. Now, moral investment is something that conceptually is very similar to what you would call a carbon footprint. And so, another alternative way to say that is a moral footprint. But it still has some different implications if you really use the terms differently. So, I'm going to stick to the first term that I mentioned, which is moral investment. And this spirit of business teaches that a business is nothing but a commercial entity. The same way you have private entities or individual entities, you also have businesses and organizations that are commercial or for-profit entities. But what is very significant about the operation of these businesses and organizations is that they fall under the same universal laws that personal entities fall under. So if a person who manifests into this realm, this dimension, which we call Earth, you manifest here as a living, breathing human being or human entity. The calling on you, on your life's purpose and what you're supposed to do when you're here, is to be of service. Again, not only to yourself, but also to your fellow man. So In practical terms, what we should be thinking is that the same way we treat each other in our personal interactions, this is how our businesses should be treating us in our professional and commercial transactions. So we need to apply this approach and this philosophy about morality when we are considering our business endeavors, our business visions and goals. So when you have one person that, let's just say you go into Walmart and they sell you a product which you're not pleased with, your expectation is that Walmart will do the moral thing and that they will refund you your money and say, we apologize for the inconvenience. We, did not, we are sorry that you got a faulty product or something that was not to your satisfaction. That's the moral thing to do. But how many companies, how many businesses and organizations exist right now with practices that are less than moral? When you go to, let's just say, for example, you have fast food companies. Right now, their morality is a little in question. You think about companies like Monsanto. You think about companies that, produce things in the environment. I mean, not even companies, but really huge industries, the oil industry, the dairy industry, livestock farming or livestock raising. These people have really huge question marks over their morality because what's happening is that we don't hold them accountable for what they're doing, not only to the environment, but also to our bodies, our physical health. This is something that is not up to a level of satisfaction where it should be. If I am ingesting food that you have served on a platter, my expectation is that this is not going to kill me. Now, I didn't say that it's not going to kill me quickly. I don't want it to kill me slowly either. And so in business, this is what I call a moral footprint or a moral investment. Because people expect a minimum of morality or a minimum of respect in business transactions, I'm giving you money or I'm giving you my patronage to your business or organization, and what I expect in return is something that I can actually use, something that I can actually make applicable and effective in my life. Not something that's going to kill me. Not something that's going to make my life harder, more complicated, less enjoyable. So this is where the spirit of business introduces these personifications, is what I'm going to call them, because that's what they are. There are 13 founding principles on what the spirit of business actually is. And it might be 13, give or take. I'm kind of editing this a little bit because my courses that I'm teaching are under development. I'm trying to perfect the curriculum to make sure that the training is conveying the message in such a way that it will be effective. But what the principles teach is that each business has these very core principles that it's founded on, just like a human being. When you grow up, they say until you're 7 years old, you are basically receiving the building blocks that make you who you are. From the time you're born until you're 7 years old, this is the core of who you are. These are your morals, your principles, the things, your identity, the things that you identify as who you are and what you want to do and who you want to be and just where you will exist in life. And so businesses, when they're conceived at the very beginning stages of business planning, this is where the core of the business is created, the same way a human being exists in this realm. When you begin to develop the business or organization, there are very core principles that you must think before moving forward and building on that business. And so our 13 principles, or the 13 dimensions is what it's called. I almost lost my train of thought there. The 13 dimensions, they go into the breakdown of how the business can be personified for the purpose of analytical observation. Okay. When you go to a therapist, They have to sort of listen to you, sort of be immersed into your world before they can try to offer remedies to your particular needs. You understand? So a business is no different. When we approach businesses that may have questionable practices in their morality, whether it be something as abstract as diversity and inclusion, or something as practical and applicable as systemization, there are some things that break down into core principles that if you personify them and then sort of assess a pathology where you can, offer some kind of remedy, you can give some kind of cure for the cause. This is what the study of the 13 dimensions is about. And this is what the teaching of the spirit of business is also about, the philosophy of moral investment. We want to learn, where is the business either thriving in the area of morality? How is it sowing seeds of morality? And how is it creating this sustainability from morality? Because another key thing to consider is that a business thrives off of morality. Think about case studies that exist in culture already and on the market already. One of my favorites to make reference to is Tom's, the shoe manufacturer, where they basically give a pair of shoes for free to someone in need whenever you purchase your shoe. To me, the price point can be whatever Tom's want the price point to be, because they understand that they're not just selling a shoe. What they're selling is morality behind the shoe. And that's what is a key focus of the study of moral investment and the teaching of moral investment, is that a company, if marketed correctly and if, positioned properly with the proper strategy, a company can use morality to make itself and its product more marketable. And because of that, they can take the time to invest in the marketability of morality. But in order to market the morality, you must first participate in it. And so this is how we're going to change our reality collectively. We're going to use our business entities that are created by our personal entities, and we're going to create a market that is more sustainable because it has the infrastructure of morality to support it. We all know that humanity wants to support morality. This can be seen in the way that we spend our dollar. There are companies right now that have been existing for decades, for centuries even. They will come to a screeching halt if a moral issue has, been exposed in their dishonor. We have to recognize the marketability in that. We have to recognize the power in that. There are trillions of dollars circulating on a global market right now. Whether the dollars be exchangeable, whether they be in cryptocurrency, or whether they be whatever, we have commodities all over the place circulating on a market that has so much more potential for sustainability and growth if we were to infuse it with moral investments. And so I want you guys to tune in with me. I'm going to come on here once a week to talk about some of the implications of moral investments, some of the implications of business personification, and these 13 dimensions that I have introduced to you. I haven't introduced the dimensions one by one, but I will give you some information about how this program works, how the teaching works, and how you might be able to benefit in business by allowing yourself to follow these practices to personify your business in such a way that you can remedy it by offering therapy to your business as if it were a person. You can become a counselor to your own business. So again, my name is Reese Roberts. This is Serv Boss, the podcast. I cannot wait to get deeper into these principles and to get some of your feedback and to hear a bit more about what you think has to do with our social climate, our social environment, and also our the global impact that we make in business. Our entire globe is infused with the workings of our businesses, not just our personal lives, but it's really our businesses that make the world turn. And so we need to think about these things from very critical but strategic perspectives. If we can do that collectively and we can blend all our ideas together, I'm sure we can create an alternative to the way business is being done right now, where anything goes. And it's lawless because it's in the dark. Things that are being done in the dark, they're completely lawless. We can't continue to do that. The way our Chinese, the way the Chinese do business and the way that they are, basically lawless in the way that they treat the environment. This is something that we have to think about because we consume. There's a interwoven system that's a closed circuit, which is our global economy, our global economic system. We need to think about that. We can't come down on China for mass producing the world's goods and come down on them for the toxic nature of those goods that they produce while we steadily consume them, because we create the demand. If we're creating the demand, we must know that is what is attracting the supply. Okay, so if we're creating a demand for something different, then naturally that supply will come. So if I say I no longer want toxicity or toxic products that have toxic footprints in my environment, I don't mind paying more. There's a very important statistic that we should be very mindful of, which says that 86% of people will pay 25% more for a more positive experience in their product. They didn't say that they would pay 25% more for a more quality product or for more features or for more bang for their buck. They said they would basically pay 25% more for a better experience, meaning if this makes me feel better about spending my money, then I will spend more of my money. We have to see that as an opportunity for growth. And I think that we can accomplish that if we're able to allow ourselves to see service in its true form. We're here to serve one another on the market, not to simply create things just for the sake of creating them and then pushing them onto the market under the guise of health and functionality and usability. That's not a way to do business in 2019. We can't do that any longer. The universe and the planet cannot afford it. So let's see what we can do to help Mother Nature out and create businesses and organizations that are for her favor instead of against her. Now, I understand that there are probably many. I know for a fact that there are many organizations and businesses that are out there to help the planet, but they are not supported in ways that they should be. And so that's my purpose here, is to really encourage us to see the benefits in supporting more businesses that support our environment and support our health as human beings on this planet. I know that we can do that because we affect change with our dollar, and we are very intentional about how we spend our dollars once we have come to know and understand the business practices that are going on with our dollars. We understand that we're supporting industries with our money. And so as we honor that, we should be able to create something that's worthwhile, that's worth being sustained. And like I said, I want to reinforce and reiterate that morality on the market is much more sustainable and marketable than immorality is. So come back. This again is Serv Boss. My name is Reese Roberts. www.servincorporated.com. Serv Incorporated is spelled SERV, no E at the end. servincorporated.com. Please do join me again. I'll probably be back next week. Today's Friday, so maybe I'll come back next Friday with some more tidbits. I might even come back more frequently because I love you guys. Thank you for stopping by to listen, and I really hope to host you again. This is the Serv Boss, Reese Roberts. Ta-da.